For controlling a project, we use two mechanisms: proactive tracking as well as reactive tracking. In order to make a project successful, both are important. Before we go deeper into the topic and discuss about the indicators used for proactive and reactive tracking, let's first understand the basics, the difference between reactive and proactive tracking. Let's first start with reactive tracking. When we assess actual performance against the planned performance, this is called as reactive tracking. It tells us whatever has already happened. Some of the examples of performance indicators of reactive tracking are schedule variance, which tells us whether the project is on schedule, ahead of schedule or behind the schedule. Cost variance, which tells us whether the project is on budget, within budget, or it has overshooted the budget. Now, these are all lag indicators associated with reactive tracking. It tells us whatever has already happened. But apart from whatever has already happened, we should also know, based on current performance, how my project will shape up. Will I be able to complete project on time? Will I be completing the project on within budget or not? So whenever I forecast based on my current performance, or whenever I project based on my current performance, I get lead indicators. Now, lead indicators will help me in realigning my plan. Proactive tracking using lead indicators help us in establishing projections. For example, based on the lead indicators, we will come to know whether we will be able to complete the project within the targeted budget or not, or if some additional money is required, how much is that additional delta from the budget which is required to complete the project. Now, these projections help us in taking some important corrective actions. For example, based on the projections, a project manager can take decisions such as, does he need to go to sponsor and request for the revised budget, or he need to manage the cost more aggressively. Some of the lead indicators that are used for controlling the projects are estimate at completion, that gives you information regarding the projected cost at completion based on the current performance. Estimate to complete, that gives you information regarding how much money is required in addition to the actual cost incurred so far based on the current performance. Variance at completion, which is a difference between budget at completion, original budget, and the projected cost of completion, EAC. If the value of variance at completion is equal to 0, this means our projection says that project will be completed within original budget based on the current performance. If variance at completion is greater than 0, this means as per our projections, the project will be complete in less than budgeted amount, which means we'll save some money. If the variance at completion is less than 0, this means that we require some more money in addition to the originally budgeted amount. There are 5 different approaches that can be used to calculate the value of estimate at completion. Each of these approaches is applicable for any given project and will provide the project management team with an early warning signal if the EAC forecasts are not within the acceptable tolerances. Now let's go through each of these approaches one by one. The first formula for calculating EAC is equal to BAC upon CPI. This is the most commonly used formula for calculating estimate and at completion, and in this formula it is assumed that throughout the project life cycle will maintain a constant CPI. The second formula is EAC is equal to AC plus remaining work. Now the work remaining is equal to BAC minus EV. This formula is used when the assumption is that the present cost variance was only a one-time event and our budgeted cost will be applicable for the remaining project. A one-time cost variance could be due to unexpected delays in shipment and no further shipment are required, or an unexpected event, maybe a fire or an earthquake caused the closure of office building for a week or so. This is also referred to as an atypical case. Now the third formula for calculating estimated completion is EAC is equal to AC plus BAC minus EV divided by CPI. Now for the third formula, the assumption is the work remaining, which is BAC minus EV, will be performed at a constant CPI. The fourth formula for calculating estimated completion is EAC is equal to AC plus BAC minus EV divided by CPI into SPI. This is used if both CPI and SPI influence the work remaining. This will be used when your projected cost at completion will also be impacted by the fact whether you deliver on schedule, before the schedule, or you deliver late. The fifth formula is EAC is equal to AC plus ETC bottom up. This will be used if the initial plan is no longer valid and you have to re-estimate for the remainder of the project. There are 5 different approaches that can be used to calculate